Hey, Daver here. Welcome to the show.
And Chandler's back as well. How we doing, Dave?
We're doing good. Things look a little different. Poor Chatty, not feeling too good, a little under the weather.
He got
Uh,
drafted to Going In Raw. We don't speak of him anymore. Moving on.
uh,
But get
but
well
yeah,
soon. Get well soon.
yeah, get well soon, Chad. We will miss your insight and your valuable opinion for the show.
There wasn't much goofy wrestling on the show, so he probably wouldn't have liked it anyways. But his Goth Boys, it was a Goth Boy Trios match. He missed it.
Yeah, his cup of tea for sure.
hmm
Uh, but yeah, let's get into our review of we're gonna do Collision, and then we got a little bonus third hour of AEW Battle of the Belts 9. Nothing too outrageous happened, which we could have presumed.
Yeah, I was gonna watch it, but I checked the results and it was all champions retained, and I was like, I'm good. There's no match that I'm like dying to see, so I'm sure it was fine.
Yeah, yeah, not bad though. I'm glad I stuck around for it. But yeah, we started our AEW Collision. We were in Norfolk, Virginia. We got a
Harley
Cope
Race
Open.
Country.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Little throwback there. We had a Cope Open to start off the show. Adam Copeland in the ring wearing his gear. He says, "You know what that means." Calls out a challenger, and Lee Moriarty accepts the challenge. Shane Taylor's on the mic, puts him over, says he's one of the best young technical wrestlers in the world. I kind of liked that, like the hype man on the mic, like coming down to the ring. That was kind of a cool technique that kind of made me feel, a little excited, even though it was Lee Moriarty. He's come a long way though, especially the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Kind of wish
but yeah,
Maria Kanellis or Maria Bennett, I think. I wish she did that for Griff Garrison last week, because I think this whole little intro package they gave Lee Moriarty was for all the people like me who was like, well, who's Griff Garrison? I don't care. Like, whatever. So at least they did a little something. I was going to give him credit for that, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Copeland says he's gonna kick his ass. Shane Taylor at one point grabs Moriarty's leg when Copeland was gonna suplex him back in the ring. Moriarty arm drags Copeland off the top turnbuckle at one point. Lee Moriarty gets Copeland in a crossface, and Copeland gets to the ropes. Uh, we get Sledge forearm blows to Moriarty's back from Copeland. Copeland gives Moriarty a avalanche follow-away slam. Really liked that. Copeland gets distracted by Shane Taylor, and Lee kicks him in the face. Copeland slides out of the ring and spears Shane Taylor. Really liked that. He really took that spear well too. Really sold it.
It was
Uh,
excellent. Best part of the match.
Copeland gives Moriarty multiple uh, forearm blows to the back of the neck and a backbreaker and the grindhouse to Moriarty for the win. He calls out Christian Cage's scrawny ass after the match. I think they did a little better this time than the Griff debacle, which I didn't think was awful. Uh, but yeah, I kind of want to see a few bigger names going up against Adam Copeland.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's what they're going for, which, Griff Garrison, no one really knew except for like real hardcore fans. And then you go up a spot like, oh, I even knew Lee Moriarty. Like, I've heard of them. Maybe next week we'll get like a little bit more like a Dante Martin, and we'll just keep going up and up and up. So I thought it was fine. Nothing that spectacular, but I couldn't stop thinking about the John Cena United States Open Challenge the entire time, because it was like, I'm getting a little tired of these like legends puts over the younger guys, but like the younger guys don't ever look good in these matches. Like, it's kind of hard to make people look good in defeat. It's really hard to do that. You kind of need a big stage. You can't just do it on random ass episodes of Collision and, Dynamite. So I get what they're doing. I think this is more Copeland picking up wins than putting over younger talent, which I'm fine with because this is all just putting him back on the road to Christian Cage. So I'm still enjoying this. It's fine.
Yeah,
How'd
yeah,
you
yeah.
feel?
Not terrible. I do believe Moriarty might have been one of the few people that CM Punk had to get through to kind of break through and challenge, bigger names when he first came back. Because it was weird. He didn't uh start out with anyone big. Like he was going after like Lee Moriarty, not going after, but getting matches with undercard people, and a lot of people were like, "Hey, like you've got the biggest name in the business. Why are you doing this?" So, but yeah, I think that little batch of talent like Moriarty that got to do that and got to do this, I think that's pretty cool for them. I didn't mind it one bit. So,
Yeah, I'm sure it means a lot for them. And I think, I don't know, just if we could like live in an alternate world, what would be better, right? Like maybe just have like Griff Garrison and Lee Moriarty go at it. And you're like, wow, these are two young guys who are able to kick each other's ass. And, people might not be into it because they're younger guys and, there's no story or something. And at least with Copeland, there's a known guy and there is a story. So that could be the difference. But I don't know, just kind of like alternatives to this to make it work. Like you're still putting these guys on the card, but this is Adam Copeland's story. This is his redemption. This isn't about Griff Garrison and Lee Moriarty. They're just names on the way up.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Nothing too much to complain about for me. Fun wrestling. I like seeing Adam Copeland in AEW, so cool.
Still feels
Win-win.
weird. Still feels weird. I saw him debut. It still feels weird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It probably will for a minute. Um, cool. Yeah. After that, we get Lexi Nair backstage with FTR and Daniel Garcia. She wants to know if they can handle being on the same page. Cash says pretty much, yeah. Uh, they're going to give it a shot. Dax says he doesn't know, but he knows they all love wrestling. And they might have to dance all over House of Black. Garcia says House of Black is going to get what's coming to them. Yeah, really looking forward to that main event for Collision. Uh, Loving everything House of Black has going on right now. FTR kind of in a weird place, but they're fighters, and I like watching them anyway. And Garcia, that trajectory he's on from the Continental Classic and making a name for himself. Yeah, I love it. Love it all.
He's one of the best booked coming out of the Continental Classic because Moxley hasn't really been around and Rouge hasn't been around. And a lot of that's because they got Japanese matches, but still, it's like a lot of these guys aren't around. But Daniel Garcia, he's getting a big push. I mean, even Brody King is just kind of back in the House of Black. So kind of interesting. But I'm all for Daniel Garcia getting the big push.
Yeah, yeah. I think well, from what I read, his contract may or may not be coming up soon.
All these
Uh,
contracts. All these
so
contracts.
yeah, I think Tony Khan's trying to give him some something good to kind of make him want to stay. So yeah,
I hope so.
I think he can go way farther as far as a character and making a name for himself in AEW. Like he'll never be put anywhere important in WWE in my mind. Like
I would agree with that. I think his gimmick he has right now, it's not as like fleshed out, or maybe not fleshed out, but like he is like sports entertainer versus wrestler. He's kind of just having the best of both worlds with it right now. You can't really do a gimmick that dynamic in WWE where it's like, at least AEW fans, you kind of really understand what that means between sports entertainer and wrestler, like, and how Daniel Garcia is kind of having fun with both of it. Like that just wouldn't fly in a WWE ring. I don't think people would care. I think he might get over, but tons of people get over in WWE and nothing happens with them. I think something could happen with Daniel Garcia in AEW.
Yeah.
So I hope
Yeah.
he's definitely one I hope just resigns and stays with AEW.
Yeah. Especially, they kind of gave a little tidbit later on in the night about Daddy Magic said that he saw FTR wrestle when he was little and it made him want to wrestle. So heck, that could
Yeah.
have a big factor, into his decision.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I'm loving it. Daniel Garcia has definitely grown as a performer, a talent, and yeah, every time I see him, I get more and more uh, into the character. Yeah, nothing but up, up, up. Yeah, so after that, we get Lexi Nair backstage with Sammy Guevara and Jericho. Uh, she says Sammy's the first and only champion to ever win a belt at Battle of the Belts. That was the TNT Championship at one point. Uh, Sammy says that Ricky and Bill have been great champions, but that in all ends tonight. Jericho says, "The streets giveth and the streets taketh away." Uh, and tonight we'll do the same uh, and come out new AEW Tag Team Champions of the world. Um, yeah, we'll see.
I'll
um,
give
uh,
them credit. I'll wait until the end. I'm gonna praise this feud for something. Can you believe it? This terrible feud. I'm gonna praise it for one thing at the end. You better stay tuned.
uh, yeah, yeah, the match happened later for sure.
I didn't
um,
see the match. I didn't see the match, but
right.
it's still in the collision. It's still in the collision.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, after that, we get a Ring of Honor six-man tag team match. Lance Archer and the Righteous, Vincent and Dutch, with Jake the Snake versus Brian Cage and Gates of Agony, Toa Leona and Bishop Khan. Um, yeah, one thing I really took from this match, I'm becoming a fan of Dutch more and more. He can move. His character's like weird and like quirky for sure. A little intrigue there. He does a big boss man slam like nobody's business, and he can jump over the top rope too, as we'll kind of get to a little later. But yeah, I'm really starting to like the Righteous a lot more. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, the match came about from Dynamite, Archer teaming with Gates of Agony and Brian Cage, and they didn't really get along. Had a couple inadvertent mishaps occur, and yeah, we got a match out of it. Gates of Agony start the match out. Khan ends up slapping Leona to get him riled up to run into uh, one of the competitors. Leona kicks, let's see, somebody over and over in the corner. We get a big brawl. Every man is in the ring. Then they're all around the ring. We go to picture in picture. We come back. Archer choke slams Khan. Cage gives Archer a Death Valley driver. Vincent gives Brian Cage a spinning Russian leg sweep, which was really cool. He like started in a tijeras and then spinned around into a
That was
Russian leg
definitely
sweep.
the best spot of the match.
It
That
was
looked
super
really
cool.
good.
Yeah, yeah. Toa Leona gives Vincent a Samoan drop. Dutch gives Leona a big boss man slam and then dives over the top rope on the other team. Like I said, I really love that spot. Nana interferes with Archer, giving Khan uh, uh, Archer gives Khan the blackout, or tries to give him the blackout, but Nana grabs him. Jake the Snake ends up decking Nana. Leona pounces Vincent across the ring. Khan ends up winning with a pedigree, right?
It's a real crappy one, but sure, we'll go with it.
It was kind of a weird ending, kind of abrupt. I don't know. It wasn't some cool things happened in the match, but it wasn't a great match at all.
I'm glad
A
I
little
wasn't the
clunk,
only one a little iffy about this. Continue.
yeah, a little clunky. Like I said, weird ending. Uh, yeah, I don't know. And then, yeah, what do you think about it?
I was real negative on this match when I watched it, and luckily, like here on out, Collision was pretty good, like a pretty good show. So I kind of just like forgot about this match. I was like, whatever, it was nothing. But it's 6 guys that I don't care about, which is a bad way of looking at it because they can always change your mind and change your perspective. But these guys always lose every single time when they're on a big stage. I mean, Brian Cage took the pin in the Dragon Street fight all the way back then. It's like he wasn't even involved in the feud and he still took the pin. So, like, I don't care about any of these guys. I don't care about Ring of Honor 6-man champions. Now we'll get to that. Um, but there was still fun moments like Jake punching out Nana and getting "You Still Got It" chance. Like that's really fun. I'm glad he's still on TV. Um, like you said, Duchess fall or Big Boss Slam, amazing. His jump over the top rope, he looked good. But yeah, just a flat finish, and the fact that Kevin Kelly really had to go, "That's his finisher, that's his finisher." So people are like, "Oh, that is the ending." Because I was like, "Well, that's a crappy pedigree," and oh, that was a 3 count. Okay, all right, well,
Yeah, it just kind of happened.
yeah.
Um,
So I never really thought that Lance Archer and the Righteous were gonna win. Just because they say they're a team. And it was really odd because they were like, Jake the Snake Roberts is a really patient guy. He set up this group. We thought it was to fight Sting, but now it's to win the Ring of Honor 6-man trios championships. And they still lost. So I hope he's still patient. He's still waiting.
I think they might get them. I think there might be a rematch.
No, not with them. They're fighting someone else.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, the Bullet Club Gold, which I'm kind of happy about. That'll be fun.
So I was when Nana called him out, I wasn't excited because I was like, I don't want Ring of Honor titles on AEW talent. I still don't want that. And then when the Bullet Club Gold cut their promo, I was like, I don't care. I want to see them win. I don't care. I want them to win.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of, Nana gets on the mic after the match, calls out Bullet Club Gold. He messed up. He said, "You know what?" Too many times, and guess what? We got the whats.
He did.
He said that phrase, "You know what?" 3 times, and then, uh-oh, you can't do that, buddy. That's like the worst nightmare of any promo. But yeah, he challenges the Bang Bang Gang for a match on Dynamite, which we're gonna get. Uh, yeah, I'm okay with that. Give them some Ring of Honor belts to play with for a little bit, and then they can team up with the Acclaimed, and they can all have gold.
The Bang Bang Scissor Gang will happen. We're almost there. I can
Yeah,
taste it.
I want it. Oh, I want it. Uh, cool. Yeah. After that, we got Lexi Nair backstage with Preston Vance. Roderick Strong and the Kingdom walk up and interrupt. Preston says after he beats Orange Cassidy tonight, he'll kick Roddy's ass next week too. Um, cool. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't think Preston's gonna win the belt later, but yeah, it'll be a fun match. I like the Undisputed Kingdom. It's a lot cooler that they're not all, you know, hidden masked people. Uh, Now they're just kind of a heel faction that, is trying to run amok. I'm a lot, what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say, I'm a lot more okay with it now.
that's fair. Because think about it, like pre unmasking, they were goobers. They were jobbers. And I think that's why I'm still not really into them, because I was like, they all looked so lame. And like, you take the mask off, and I still think they're lame. Like, if they were running rock and like they tried to make it look like it, but it really didn't. And even then, the Kingdom were goobers. The only people I'm interested in this is Wardlow, because I think he's gonna turn, and Roddy, because I think he's gonna turn. So my two most interested people are the guys who are gonna turn. But I'm still like holding out hope. You know, I'm Adam Cole is still injured, so they still can't take this to the next level. So that's
Yeah,
kind of my argument against any negativity I have towards this is, well, it's not in full gear yet. I'm gonna wait until they're in full gear.
I'm gonna wait it out. Let it play.
Hopefully, I don't have to
Cool.
wait until full gear. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. Um, but yeah, after that we get a fun little impromptu match, Dustin Rhodes versus Willie Mack. Yeah, Dustin's a freaking legend. Like no one can deny it. Like he can still go, man. 35 years. We got some sportsmanship at the beginning, handshaking. We get a loud chop to Dustin Rhodes at one point. Willie Mack mocks Dustin with a gold dust taunt, then a standing moonsault. Willie goes for a 6-star frog splash, but Dustin moves out of the way. Dustin gives Willie Mack a Canadian destroyer, then a power slam, covers, but Willie kicks out at 2. Dustin gives Willie 2 crossroads for the win. Was the second one a crossroads? That was like a
No,
little
it was like
different.
a slam. Like,
It was like a cross slam. I
I
don't know.
guess it was odd.
Yeah, it was weird. He like lifted him up pretty far, like oddly. But
Hmm.
anyway, got the job done. Dustin won, and we got more sportsmanship, shaking hands. Uh, yeah, cool match. They're trying to give Dustin a little bit of something before he retires. I thought 2023 was going to be it for him, but maybe he's going another year. I don't know.
He's
But
waiting for
yeah,
his contract to run out, and he's gonna go back to WWE, and he's gonna retire there. That's what I say. So
yeah. I mean,
that's
that's
I hate to be the Debbie Downer here, but he's gonna just go where Cody goes, and look at where Cody is. So, but so what did you think of this match? Because I have a little bit of a prelude to say, but like, what were your thoughts? Or did you
mm,
already get him out?
I don't know, man. I like Willie Mack from watching Impact slash TNA. Dustin's cool. I love watching him go. No one power slams like that man. And yeah, I thought it was okay. What do you
Hmm.
think?
So, a little prelude. My dad lives halfway across the country, but he's a big time wrestling fan too. He grew up watching the Monday Night Wars. He actually preferred WCW and only watched WWF for The Rock. So he also liked WCW, and he's the reason I got into wrestling. But he doesn't watch AEW, and I've been trying to get him to watch some AEW because I want to show him like at least some of the matches I've seen, like specifically Swerve and Hangman at Full Gear. I'm like, that's the perfect match to get people into AEW, because it's like this is why AEW is different and good. So not just this, but like things like this. But he watched this collision, and his first AEW match was Willie Mack versus Dustin Rhodes, and he said he immediately turned it off because he was like, I'm not interested in this. So I think that's an interesting thing to kind of like bring up, because I don't have much opinions about this. I was a little annoyed that it was just Dustin squash match. Like, does Dustin Rhodes need squash matches? But it is setting up something. But this isn't just for AEW. Kind of has to lose that like hardcore fan gimmick, because they're not going to get much bigger than they are now unless they want to keep this size, which is fine. But you kind of need to start looking into bringing in casual fans. And I'm not talking about people who don't watch wrestling. I'm talking about people who only watch WWE, people who are lapsed fans. Like, not everyone's into the Japan style or lucha libre style. People are into different kinds of things, and I think looking at this match, it wasn't great, but you could have done things differently. He thought Willie Mack was just some jobber, like because they didn't sell him as an Impact guy. Like I know he's from Impact. I don't know what he's done, but he's an Impact star. You could have said he's a TNA World Champion. He's a TNA X Division Champion, but they didn't say any of that. And of course, he knew Dustin Rhodes, and like you kind of got to think about stuff like this when you're introducing people that aren't on your roster a lot. I mean, the only time I've seen Willie Mack is when he got squashed by Wardlow. And it was funny then because it was Wardlow. But I kind of wanted to bring that up. Like, you got to figure out how to bring in these casual audiences because you want to grow. You're a TV show, you're a business. Wrestling always wants to grow. So I don't know, just something interesting to bring up.
Yeah, not a bad point. Uh, did that like end it for him? He was like, "Yeah, I'm never even gonna try."
No, no, my dad's not like that. And I told him I hadn't seen Collision at the time. He watched it live, and I was busy. I just hadn't watched it, so I was gonna watch it later. But I was like, yeah, like, I was thinking of last week's Collision. I was like, yeah, it was kind of a lot of like meh, and then the main event was good. And then as soon as I watched this, I was like, dang, like if you stuck around for another like couple matches, you would have watched some pretty good stuff. Like the women's match was great, the Hangman Adam Page match was great, and then the main event was awesome. So like, but oh well, I'm not giving up. I'm gonna get him into this at some point. But I just wanted to bring that up that of all the matches to be your first AEW, it's Dustin Rhodes versus Willie Mack.
Yeah. Yeah, well maybe he'll check something out later on that will pique his interest.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, let's see. After that, we get uh, yeah, Bullet Club Gold promo. They mock Cage and Nana. Austin gets a little close to Jay White there, dancing on him. He's like, okay, okay. Uh, yeah, they say, want to go for a ride? Well, then saddle up. Just know you'll be going home sad and lonely, but us will be going home with those Ring of Honor six-man championships. They'll be coming back with the Bang Bang Gang. And if you're not down with that, uh, let's see, if you're not down with that, we got two words for you. Guns up. Uh, Yeah, fun stuff. I'm actually bizarrely looking forward to this match, and I'm bizarrely looking forward to the Bullet Club Gold being Ring of Honor champions.
Like,
Is
I think I hate to be like, oh, the titles are props again, but I feel like this will serve a story they're working towards. Is like they just need some gold to like align with the acclaimed, and I'm looking forward to it because I like the Bullet Club Gold. So,
is it beneath Jay White?
I mean, I've been pitching that they're the ones to beat the acclaimed. So in a way, yes, in my opinion, but I don't know. It's also like at least he's doing something. I'm kind of at that point right now. Like, I just want to see Jay White, and I don't really care what he's doing. I don't think he should be in the Samoa Joe picture. I don't think he should be in like major blood feuds right now. I think the six-man ROH trios tag teams are just fine for them right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think it could work uh, for a brief moment. Um,
Well, I know he had
yeah,
the longest reign, but Samoa Joe had a Ring of Honor title, and it was fine because it was Samoa Joe, and he held other
yeah,
titles while he held it. So it was like, oh, it's cool. It like makes him look better that he has two, or it says his number keeps getting bigger. It was 300, 400, 500-day reign. Like that's cool. So I think there's a way you could do it with Bullet Club Gold that makes it work.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna gripe at it. I think it'll work. It'll be cool. I like Jay White. Um, Dude, and the guns, like they have grown on me so much. They were such goobers back in the day, like years ago, and now they were just like Billy Gunn's kids, and now they're
Mhm.
actually like formidable competitors. Like it's pretty cool.
I think my favorite part of their promos is whenever they go, "Oh, we got 2 words for you." The crowd is like goes insane because they all think they're gonna say "suck it," and then they go, "Guns up," and they go, "Oh." So I think that like whenever they do their face turn and they say "suck it," oh, biggest faces in the company.
Yep. Ooh, I can't wait for that. Yeah, that'll work.
But they're
That'll work.
set. That's gonna be like it'll be this year because I think Billy Gunn's gonna retire this year, but it'll be like Jay White will probably be like, I don't want to deal with all this, but it'll be the Acclaimed and the Guns all hugging Billy Gunn. That's how Billy Gunn will retire. And I think it'll be lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Um, cool. Yeah, fun stuff here. After that, we get Renee backstage with Dustin Rhodes. She says she's a big fan, and then before Dustin can say anything, Christian Cage walks up with uh, Kill Switch, Mama Wayne, and Nick Wayne. Uh, Christian says, if you're a friend of Adam Copeland, you're an enemy of mine. Dustin says he's been chasing that title and he wants it bad. Challenges Christian for a title shot on Dynamite. Yeah, that should be cool. That kind of, was the reason that Dustin was getting a few wins. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It kind of led to that. So, um, yeah, are they gonna give Dustin the belt?
No, that's like the worst decision you could make. Oh my gosh. Like I'm not looking forward to this. It'll be fine. I hope I'm amazed by it, but I'm like, like it's Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He you're right. He is a I don't think I'd call him legend. I think that's a little too high. I hate to say it, like just a little too high. He's great, phenomenal, generational talent. I just don't think I'd go that far. Maybe
Veteran.
when he veteran, there we go. Maybe when he retires, I'll feel that way, but he just hasn't done anything that has captivated me in a long, like even his Goldust run in WWE. There was a lot of bad years in his later years, so maybe he'll have a good retirement year.
Uh, but yeah, YouTube universe. What do you think about Dustin Rhodes? Is he, does he still got it? Or is it time for him to hang up the boots? Also, do you think he'll go to the WWE and finish out his career as Goldust, with his brother Cody? Yeah, let us know. We love to hear your thoughts and we'll answer any questions you have. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share all that fun stuff too. Uh, yeah, we really appreciate your support. Um, cool, yeah. Uh, After that, we get a pretty cool match with Hangman Adam Page versus JD Drake. Uh, I kind of like how they're giving JD a little push. Like, he earned a lot of my respect seeing him live in Prestige. Uh, yeah, I like seeing him. He's like the perfect big goofy jobber to lose to Adam Page. He puts up a good enough fight. He's got some power. He's got technique, but just not enough. Yeah, they had a good back and forth from the get go. Drake was playing a little dirty. JD Drake chops Hangman off of his feet. Then in the corner, Hangman Page returns the favor. Then Hangman Page hits a running standing moonsault on JD Drake. One of my favorite moves that Hangman does. JD Drake did his, uh, love it, the bottom rope assisted lariat where he bounces the guy off the bottom and boom, love it. He did that to Darby last week, right?
Hmm.
Uh, yeah,
Maybe not last
and
week, but yeah, oof.
or
Oh yeah, they fought on Collision. That's right. That's right.
yeah, yeah, fun stuff. Anthony Henry got involved during picture in picture, uh, spin kicking Adam Page against the barricade. Adam Page dives on Drake on the outside, Then from the top rope in the ring, and he covers JD Drake for a 2 count. Hangman manages to give Drake a Death Valley driver, picking that big guy up. Covers for two. The crowd loved it. JD Drake gives Adam Page a belly to belly suplex, then a running cannonball. Goes for a Vader bomb, but misses it. Page ends up moonsaulting on Henry on the outside. Page hits a buckshot lariat and covers for the win. Yeah, looked good. Page looked mean, focused, aggressive. Loving that mustache he's got going on. Yeah, Adam Page is a badass, and I love watching him on my AEW television.
I don't know why I'm just like this is just hitting me now. I liked this match more than the Claudio one on Dynamite. I don't know why he would say that. Like that's crazy. But
Me
this and
too.
this match wasn't like insane. I think I just had like no expectations. I was like, ugh, it's gonna be a squash match, and like we just had a lame squash match. Like I don't need another one. And then this is where I like kind of picked up, and I was like, oh wait, no, this show's like getting good. Like it's kind of getting interesting. Just they were picking it up, and the way they were selling it, it felt like a 2-on-1 match. And you wanted Hangman Adam Page to come back and win, and was always gonna. But I knew when he was going for that buckshot, I was like, it's not over until he beats up the other guy. I still don't know his name. Anthony Hendry, you said his was
Anthony Henry.
Anthony Henry. Okay, I'll try to remember that. But as soon as he jumped off, gave him a moonsault, then hopped back, gave JD the buckshot. Great ending. So if anything, this made me like the Workhorsemen a little bit more, like, which is surprising. I never thought I'd say that, but a very fun match. Not much though. Still only like 10 minutes or so, but excited for
Yeah.
Hangman. But Hangman Adam Page is definitely in his like emo arc because he doesn't have his silly little lines at the bottom of his name anymore. Those are my favorite part.
Yeah, man. Yeah, weirdly I like this more than the Claudio match.
I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe it.
Dude, JD Drake can go. And like I said, I don't know if it's because the respect I formed for him from watching him live in my hometown with you
Mm-hmm.
and Chad, and then having to fly out probably that freaking night or morning to make it to Collision the next day and
Yep.
then put on
Is it?
another banger against Sting. Like, come on. Like, yeah, loving
He
JD
lost.
Drake.
He lost to two sensations from the '80s in back-to-back nights. First, it was Midnight Heat. Then it was Sting. What a worker! What a worker!
Yep, yep. Midnight Heat got the win. Hell yeah, dude.
Like, they're the only indie talent to beat the established talent. I guess that's all I need.
Yep.
That's all I want.
Good stuff. Oh man. But yeah, after that we got another really good match. Deonna Purrazzo versus Red Velvet. I'm gonna give Red Velvet the MVP of this match because the way they did it was she had control for most of it, especially during the commercial. But yeah, Red Velvet was looking great, like brutal, like a true threat, and I really liked that. Uh, got some really nice grappling with some arm drags and a dodged kick to Deanna. Red Velvet goes or does an arm drag off the turnbuckle, but Deanna reverses into a Fujinara armbar. Velvet gets to the ropes. Red Velvet goes after Deanna's arm, stomping, arm dragging, using the ropes to injure Deanna's arm. Velvet looks like a threat. It looks like they're trying to build her. That's what I got in my notes. Deanna gets a Fujinara armbar, but Velvet flips and covers. Deanna gets both arms locked into the Venus de Milo and ends up winning the match with a submission. Uh, yeah, fun stuff. I liked Red Velvet a little more. Deanna looked good, powerful. Um, yeah, she's, you know, uh, been in the business for a long time, did a lot of great things in Impact, and I thought she was in NXT, pretty sure. So yeah,
She could have been.
I'm into it. How'd you
Yeah,
feel
I
about it?
quite enjoyed this match actually as well. I think referring back to that Adam Copeland match, it's these matches where they build both competitors. I'm not saying Red Velvet looked good in defeat, but at least she looked good in the match. And then Deonna Purrazzo, I really liked her. This was my first match of her I've ever seen, and I've thought she was a really slick wrestler. Like all her moves looked so smooth, and she would just get Red Velvet into all these submissions like so easily. Like I tried to write them down. I was like, I don't know if I can. It looks like she's just like transitioning, like rolling her over. Oh, now you're in the armbar. Like that's crazy. So I'm looking forward to seeing Deonna Purrazzo more, and maybe Red Velvet will get a push. Maybe she's the next challenger for Julia Hart. But I actually wrote down in my notes. I think Deonna Purrazzo should beat Julia for the TBS championship. That's what I'm feeling. Because I think Mariah May is the one to beat Tony Storm, but it was just something I felt like I want to see a championship on her. I think Julia Hart's a fair shout for that. Maybe
Yeah,
not
yeah,
next pay-per-view, but like eventually when it's time to end Hart's reign, I think Deonna Purrazzo should be the one to do it.
yeah. That works. Um, I would like Britt Baker to come back and take the TBS title off of whoever has it when that happens. That would make Britt
Interesting.
Baker the first ever women's world champion and TBS champion, which should have been Jade Cargill, but don't get me started on that.
We don't need to. We don't need to. Another thing that I saw in my notes that I want to bring up, and it's, they're not, but I thought it was interesting. I do appreciate on commentary, Deonna Purrazzo and Adam Copeland are on the same level. Like, I appreciate that. That's a nice touch. It might just be lip service, but I really appreciate that. I'm gonna be honest, they're not. One of them's main evented WrestleMania, but they don't care. They're like, these are two outside stars coming in to make AEW better. I really liked how they saw that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, cool. Yeah, we get that one women's match of the night. Then we got a
oh,
imp.
wait, sorry to interrupt. Did you see that sign that said AEW Women's Wrestling is alive and well? I see you, Plant. NXT is the only one that can get away with that. You go back to Tony Khan, you get your money back. You
Yeah,
can't
I
you can't
definitely.
fool me. I know plants.
Yeah, I saw that sign for sure. Um, but yeah, after that, we got a weird impromptu match. Hook wanted to wrestle, and they let him.
I didn't
I don't
say his
even
name.
know the name of the jobber, but
It
the
was a
jobber
goober.
rushes Hook. Yeah, he rushes Hook, but Hook moves out of the way. Jobber hits the turnbuckle with the belt on the turnbuckle,
Good spot.
nonetheless. Hook suplexes Jobber all over the floor in the ring, gets Red Rum hooked on, and wins by submission. Uh, yeah, I like that how they kind of showed Hook being ruthless, aggressive, violent. He's gonna need that.
I'm sure that'll be the near fall or like the closest thing to Joe losing is he'll set up the FTW or the World Championship on the ring and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm tired, I'm dead," and then Joe will charge and Hook will dash out and boom, he'll clock on and he'll slap the red rum in and people are gonna be like, "This is it, Hook is gonna win," and then Joe will like pick him up and kill him and then he'll win or something like that. But that'll be a really really good spot. So
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
all this, like, no matter what they've done through Tony Khan's tweets, through the segment on Dynamite, I'm still as excited as I was, which was like, it'll be a fun match. I'm looking forward to it. Hook ain't winning.
yeah. Um, cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hook Joe should be fun. I I'm not worried about the outcome. I'm excited for the match. Cool. Yeah, after that, we get our main event of the night, which I've been really looking forward to. House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews versus FTR, Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, and Daniel Garcia. Dax and Cash hit a double catapult on Matthews. Garcia and Malachi Black hook it up. Good back and forth. Malachi goes for a spinning kick, but Garcia sits down Indian style in front of him. Malachi teases doing Garcia's dance, but flips him off instead. FTR Garcia, triple team Brody King, then sit down Indian style in front of Malachi and Matthews as they try to slide in the ring. That really got in their heads. It looked like. Um, Dax and Cash succeed in taking Brody King down. Dax covers Brody for 2. Brody King hits a sit down power bomb on Dax for 2.99. Then Dax misses a diving headbutt. He hurts his knee, and Dax gets isolated by the House of Black. Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews hit Dax with a double knee to his face, cover him for 2. Dax hits a desperation DDT on Matthews and gets a hot tag to Garcia. Garcia fights off Matthews and Black. Garcia takes out Brody with Dragon Screw. Uh, or actually, Garcia takes out Brody, then Dragon Screws Malachi Black. Cash dives on all of House of Black. Garcia hits a sheer drop brainbuster on Malachi and covers for 2. Garcia gets Brody King in a guillotine choke. Brody ends up getting out. FTR and Garcia do a triple spike pile driver to Brody King. Every man gets to do a big move in succession. They're all down. The crowd loves it. We get a "This is awesome." Dax hits a Steiner ride on Malachi Black off of Garcia's shoulders. Really like to see that. Dax suplexes Malachi Black on the top turnbuckle. Garcia dives, but Black gets his knees up. Dax gets to the ropes while in a ankle lock from Malachi. Malachi Black moonsaults on Garcia on the outside. Dax and Matthews try to pin each other over and over and over, but no one can get the 3. Dax hits a pile driver for a 2 count. That was really cool. Malachi Black hits a spinning kick on Dax. Matthews curb stomps Dax and covers for the win. Yeah, really great match. Like a 25-minute match, too. Like,
Yeah, it
gosh.
like started up at like hour 30. I was shocked that they were giving it this much time, but I think this is what I was missing from last week. Because don't get me wrong, FTR and just Buddy Matthews and Malachi Black are great, but Brody King's probably my favorite member of House of Black, and I like Daniel Garcia more than FTR, and I really like the idea of FTR and Daniel Garcia working together. So just those two extra guys really took this match up to the other level. And like even just from the hop with Daniel Garcia doing the sit down spot and Malachi even just teasing the dance, I was like, oh, no way, this match is already 5 stars. No way we already hit it. But of course he flipped him off and whatever. But this is just an insane match. I wrote down, I thought it was a Steiner recliner, but that's the submission spot, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
with the,
so
the, the basically the game over, right? Or
yes,
no?
it's the game over. It's the acolyte back in WWE when he was Rusev, but that whatever. He hit the Steiner move. It was pretty cool. I saw him going for a diving headbutt because they were in Harley Race territory, so that was fun. Just all in all, a really fun match. And right when they beat him, I was like, oh man, like that kind of sucks. But then it's like, oh, well, they're gonna do another one this time with the stipulation, and this time they're all gonna win, and it's gonna be excellent. So like they're really building these collisions like all right, we're gonna have a really really good main event, so you just got to stick around. And this week they at least had like better stuff before the main event. Like they had a new women's star debut, her match, and then you had the just everything else. And then poor Daddy Magic at the end. I never thought I'd care so much about him. They keep on trying to beat him up, and I'm like, you poor boy. What has he done?
Yeah, poor Daddy Magic. Uh, Brody King attacks Daddy Magic. Malachi gives him the end. Cash and Garcia clear the ring with chairs. Uh, Garcia and Dax help give Brody King a shatter machine with Cash. So they got to get a little comeuppance on that. Stand tall. But yeah, Daddy Magic. Are we gonna get Daddy Magic versus Brody King?
I was thinking, like, wouldn't that be funny if it was now a 4v4 man match? And it's like, well, who do you. Now it's House of Black don't have any friends. House of Black doesn't have anyone that can support them. Because in the beginning, it was FTR have no friends. FTR, no one supports them. There's at least two people that will support them now. No one's going to support the House of Black. But,
Right?
I mean, I think he'll just be on commentary still. And, like, they'll do I don't know. What would be a fun stipulation for this? Just like a leather mat, a strap match, or
Shaved head match.
Dax already wins. He's got Daniel Garcia's got pretty short hair, and like
Yeah, yeah.
so the only one that kind of suffers is Cash. Shaved back match. How about that?
Uh, if House of Black loses, they have to wear colors.
Ooh, if House of Black loses, they okay. You go back to those original stipulations where it's FDR has to disown their family, but House of Black have to change their gimmick. They got to be like Willow, where they're like cheery and happy and like yay. So I like that.
Yep. That'll work. Cool, yeah. Pretty good episode of Collision. I definitely enjoyed it. Definitely entertained. Um, it was good to see Garcia on Collision kind of claiming he wants to be a Collision guy. Uh, kind of declaring that. And yeah, it was good to see the Cope Open carry on over to Collision. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I think he should keep doing it until, he uh moves up another level or two. He should be getting to like uh Will Hobbs or like something like that eventually.
That might be a little like you don't want to like pin actual stars. That's why when it was Collision and I went through the entire roster, there were names like Lee Moriarty that I skipped over because it was like that's a little too low. But I picked like the top flight guys and you know Jack Perry coming back because I was like these are people that they're not big stars, they're not doing a lot, but they're still people we've seen on TV for the past couple weeks. We haven't seen Lee or Griff, but that's why I kind of like was picky about my list, and there's only like 8 or 10 guys because I was like, these are 8 or 10 names that you could just have a half decent 15-minute match on TV where they'll lose, but it's okay. But I'm still interested in it, and I think they will build up.
Real quick, you hear the Jack Perry news?
I was waiting until we got to news, but we want to talk about it now, Mister
Kind of do.
Scapegoat, you little martyr.
Kind of do, man. He showed up on New Japan. Uh Battle in the Valley, right? I think it was the
Mm-hmm.
pay-per-view. Yeah, he ripped up his AEW contract. He had an armband that said scapegoat. And yeah, I'm not really sure. Is he like done with AEW for real? I think they're just
Oh, this
letting
is
him.
such a work. That like
Yeah,
this is such a work because th- mind you, I'm not a New Japan expert, but I heard this from New Japan experts, so I trust them. New Japan is very like honorable, like not just be stereotype, but like genuinely, if you forsake or are basically rude to a company that they associate with, they're not going to put you on their show. So they're not going to have Jack Perry, a star from another promotion, tear up his contract in their promotion when they have an annual pay per view every year. And I'm sure they're going to do it again. So I think it's all I mind you, I'm not the one who knows, but that makes sense. That's very logical. So I think this is just a work, but you know what? Maybe this will be Jack Perry working on a gimmick. Maybe he'll be refining himself. So if he's able to come back a better wrestler, hell yeah, I'm fine with that. Because when I was watching him, he was pretty boring.
I saw a pretty cool meme with a close up of his face, and it said, "I thought Danny Masterson was in jail."
Oh my gosh. Well, like the funniest thing about the scapegoat was like he wasn't the scapegoat. The scapegoat was fired.
Yep.
The
Yeah, yeah,
scapegoat doesn't work there anymore. But it's also like I can't understand that because if he's like, oh, I'm the only one that was punished in AEW, it's like, well, I don't know. The elite still had to relinquish their titles. Like when they got in their fight, Sammy Guevara and Andrade were still off TV for a while when they had their fight. Like all these people were punished. It's just they didn't have creative for you, which is a common thing in wrestling. People just don't have creative for you sometimes. So I think he's just a martyr. If any
yeah,
of that's legit, it's a martyr or it's a new gimmick.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll have to see. I think you're right though. He didn't actually quit AEW. They're not New Japan
Moxley
is
and Kingston were on the card. They were at that show. So
yeah. They're not gonna let that happen.
no, that like, could you imagine if they did like Wrestle Dream? Zack Saber Jr. was there. You throw Aussie Open were there. They were kind of Ring of Honor, but like let's say they were still kind of New Japan. But like Okada walks out and tears out his New Japan contract. That'd be so like what? What's going on here? That doesn't
Mhm.
make sense.
Yeah, that none.
So I think this is just trying to get up a little buzz, like Jack Perry in a new promotion, because I think they're a little desperate to make him look interesting.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, good episode of Collision. They kind of got right into Battle of the Belts, 9.
Oh, I
Um,
forgot. I completely forgot. They were
they,
hyping about Battle of the Belts so much. I had so much to say about JD Drake and all that. Completely forgot there were 3 title matches on an hour after. I was gonna praise Chris Jericho for something. The way Collision ended, where it was like started into the street fight with that's pretty ingenious. That's kind of cool. Like if I wasn't watching these after they aired, and I was just watching TV and it was like, oh, they're doing an hour of wrestling after this, and they're immediately starting with a brawl. Like it's so intense. They're starting before this broadcast is over. That's a pretty smart way to get it in. So kudos to them for that. They're doing anything to make this match look good.
dude, when I saw that trailer there, I instantly thought they were gonna have Big Bill lawn dart Guevara into the trailer like Rey Mysterio and the NWO back in the day. Do you know about that?
Yeah. Oh,
Like
I think I've
people called the
seen it.
police because they thought it was a gang warfare, like breaking out. Like people in the like lot called the
Oh my
911, and there
gosh.
were real police there, and they had to be like, no, 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 this is.
This is fake. This is fake.
But yeah, I was really hoping for a lawn dart. It didn't happen, but yeah, I'll get into this here. Uh, They started out outside. They had trash cans, road signs. Big Bill choke slammed Jericho into a leaf pile on the ground. Sammy runs over Ricky and Big Bill with a golf cart, covers them for a 2. Big Bill hits Jericho and Sammy with a backpack filled with bricks. Bill throws a brick at Sammy, but misses and breaks a car window. Jericho and Sammy suplex Big Bill through that same car. Rhett Titus comes out and he's like, "That was my car." So Jericho gives him the Judas effect. Uh,
Okay.
Jericho Jericho brings Ricky Starks into the arena. Ricky plunges a plunger into Jericho's face. We got Swiffer sweepers, a snowman decoration involved. Jericho copies Ricky Stark's face on a copy machine and pulls out the picture and shows the camera. Uh, Jericho puts a yellow or an orange road cone on his head and cackles, which is a throwback to an early episode, or no, maybe it was a Stadium Stampede. I think he did that. He was like trying to be a witch and went with a
Like
cone
a
on his.
traffic cone? Those hurt. Have you ever done that? Like, I remember
Yeah,
being in middle school and high school and being like, "Tee hee, Imma put this on," and then those, like, spikes jump to your head. You're like, "Oh, motherfucker, what the hell?" So,
they're they're
Jericho, what
made
are
to
you
like.
doing?
Yep, they know people are gonna do that, so they make them
Oh, okay, that's
painful.
they cut them off. Well, in wrestling, they'll probably cut them off, but, like, in
Yeah,
kayfabe, in the real world, brother, that hurts.
IRL. Yeah, Sammy ends up man, flipping off of a wall when Big Bill throws him into it. Really cool move, like a freaking Matrix move. Uh, let's see. Sammy flips off wall. Ricky or Sammy gets a fire extinguisher and sprays Big Bill and Ricky. Jericho smashes the fire extinguisher into Big Bill's shoulder. Jericho squirts mustard in Big Bill's eyes. They make it to the crowd. Jericho is about to give Big Bill a Frankensteiner off of a big speaker onto some tables, but Takeshita comes out of nowhere, hits Jericho in the head with a kendo stick,
You're
and Big
joking.
Bill.
I'm stop. You're joking. You're lying. Takeshita came out.
No, you totally. Yep, hit Jericho in the head with a kendo stick while Jericho was in the Frankensteiner position, which is also a power bomb position. So Big Bill power bombed Jericho through the two tables. After that, I knew you were gonna love it.
You're like, I
Sammy
don't
jumps
believe you. I that is like, I don't believe you. That is so crazy. That
right.
they gave me that. Oh my god, I have to stop complaining that they're burying Takeshita. I have to stop.
Oh, they're pushing him. They're pushing him.
Oh
Uh,
no.
Sammy ends up climbing over 25 feet on top of a light rig uh, to dive on Ricky, but Hobbs pulls Ricky out of the way at the last minute and ends up pinning Sammy for the win. Looks like Hobbs figured he owed Ricky one for turning on him a couple years ago. Uh, yeah, I'd like to see the explanation for that because when they teamed together, Ricky didn't want to have anything to do with Hobbs. And they brought that up, like the how he turned on him and all that. So I like the side little like storyline going on with that. After that, well, actually, yeah, fun match. I got really no quarrels. It was such a Jericho match. That's kind of his strong suit to get out there and do crazy things like that, where you don't have to like show your wrestling prowess.
Yeah. It seemed
Uh,
like a fun match, which is never a bad thing. I think that's the was our problem with that Dragon Street fight from Dynamite a couple months ago is it wasn't fun. It didn't feel like a good time. And so we were just like, "Ugh, this is like boring and lame." But the way you were saying that, and not just because of Takeshita, but I have to see like it does like I kind of want to check out Battle of the Belts now. Like it seems like a fun
mhm.
match.
It was the best Battle of the Belts I've ever watched, even the live ones.
Wow. Even the one
I've
that had a
seen
title change.
Yep, I've seen two live in my life, and yeah, this one was probably the most entertaining. Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, you probably should check it out, if only that match. Um, After that, we get another really cool Serena Deeb promo. She's hyping up her comeback. She's going to prove that she's the best women's wrestler in the world, and she needs title gold. Yeah, can't wait for you to watch her wrestle. Shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. Hope they package her really well. Maybe change her theme, change her look a little bit. I think that could be a benefit. Um,
Man, with all these
but
women coming in, you're gonna have to have that second segment of show, Tony. Like you're packed to the gills here. You're almost out of options.
should they make Rampage 2 hours?
No, that's not the solution here. Because I still wouldn't that's not gonna get me to watch Rampage. Is making it longer.
They need a show for women, right?
If you're not gonna book more than one, yeah, that's what I said not too long ago. It's like make Collision the women's show or make Rampage the women's show and give them another hour. Like I don't know, like
Hmm.
do something because what you're doing isn't enough. You know why those crowds get quiet during the women's matches, Tony? It's because they don't ever see those women. So they don't know who they're cheering for. They'll cheer for Tony and they'll cheer for Julia because they're the champs and they're around a lot and they're presented well and they're interesting. And I'm sure, and like that's not always the case. There are plenty of women that are over, but they could be more over, you know?
Hmm.
Wouldn't you want that? I want that.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, um, good to have her coming back. We'll probably get that match with her before too long. Yeah, after that we get a TBS title match, Julia Hart versus Anna Jay, former really close friends. Anna Jay takes control early, but Julia gets the upper hand and chokes Jay in the corner with her boot. Julia pulls Jay's shoulder into the turnbuckle, clearly causing some injury and pain. Anna Jay only has one working arm now. Anna Jay gets the Queen Slayer on Julia, but Julia reverses into a chokehold of her own. Anna Jay stands up and gets out of the chokehold. Julia gets Anna in the Heartless Lock for the win. Anna Jay taps out. Kind of a quick match. Not a whole lot, drama going on in it. I knew Julia was gonna win. It was good though. Like they they looked like they both are much better at what they do than they were a year ago for sure. Um, some of it maybe I felt was a little clunky. Uh, Kind of their timing a little bit with like blocking like hits from each other was kind of a little. They've slowed that down a little in certain parts, I felt. But yeah, good match. I like both competitors, and I hope they get Anna Jay featured a little more in the future.
Yeah, she was I hadn't seen her wrestle before her match on Dynamite last week for the homecoming show, but she was really good for how little they ever use her. So yeah, I'd
And
like to see her more.
been wrestling for like 3.5 years total.
Wow, that's yeah, she looked really good for 3.5 years. So I'd
Hmm.
like to see her more. But you know how people get better at wrestling on TV? They wrestle on TV
Mm,
more. Isn't it crazy?
weird.
Who's coming
uh,
up with these ideas?
right. Cool. Yeah. Then we get our main event, International Championship. Orange Cassidy defending against Preston Vance. They team together on Dynamite, picking up a win uh, on that match. Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett show up at ringside to watch the match. They all sit down in a chair. Preston Vance hits Orange Cassidy with a discus lariat right off the bat. OC hits Vance with an orange punch in return. Preston Vance shoulder tackles Orange Cassidy from the top turnbuckle. Preston Vance suplexes and pump kicks Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy falls out of the ring in front of the Undisputed Kingdom. Uh, we get a delayed vertical suplex by Preston Vance to Orange Cassidy, and he covers for two. Orange Cassidy and drop kicks Preston Vance and kips up with his hands in his pockets. Preston Vance reverses a spinning DDT into a spine buster. Orange Cassidy gives Vance weak slaps and then kicks him increasingly harder and harder. We get multiple hard kicks in the corner to Preston Vance. Preston Vance gives a ripcord cutter to Orange Cassidy. Thought that was kind of cool. Uh, Orange Cassidy hits a Stun Dog Millionaire and a spinning DDT for a 2 count. Orange Cassidy dives on Vance. Vance catches him and Fallaway slams Orange Cassidy into the Undisputed Kingdom. Preston flips off Roddy. Vance gets Orange Cassidy in a full Nelson submission and shakes him, which I think is kind of a cool submission move. Orange Cassidy gets out, Orange punches Preston Vance, then hits the beach break for the win. The Undisputed Kingdom get in the ring, and Jose steps up to them, but they take him out. And then they stare down Orange Cassidy. Um, and that was our episode of Battle of the Belts. Uh, Pretty entertaining. I liked every match was good. I liked they threw in a little Serena Deeb promo, and yeah, really enjoyed it. Definitely, yeah.
They should have.
Um,
I don't know what happened on Rampage. I didn't watch it, but they should have done the Preston Vance OC match on either Rampage or Collision. And then you should have done this Roddy Orange Cassidy match on Battle of the Belts. And you should have had the title switched hands, because what are we doing with this Orange Cassidy run? Because this international title belt has not felt important for a long time. Well, not a long time, but since Full Gear when he beat Mox. And a lot of people liked that match. I was like one of the few that didn't, because I was like, well, what do you do with either of these two after that? And Mox was booked to the moon because he went on to do 12 and no or whatever. He won 12 points in the Continental Classic. Like, he looked great. So when Orange Cassidy was just on Rampage, but I was like, okay, that's the C2. As soon as that's done, he's going to be all over. And he was in the multi-man match, but a lot of nobodies were in that multi-man match. Like, so I like, what are we doing with this run? What happened from last year? Because would you say, I wasn't watching, but would you say with Orange Cassidy's last run with the belt that he made that belt feel important?
oh, absolutely.
It was
Um,
like I remember hearing praise. It was like must watch TV, right?
yeah, yeah. He took that belt from Pac. Uh, yeah, had that really great long run. Then Moxley took him out. And that made it even more important that Moxley was the only guy that could take him out. Um, yeah, then we had that debacle with
Yeah, the injuries
Moxley.
are one thing. You can't really get mad at them for that, but it was almost as if Tony Khan saw the injury. He was like, I'm not doing anything with this anymore. Like,
Yeah, yeah, his run is definitely getting stale. Um, yeah, hopefully they'll change that up. Yeah, give it to Roddy. If not Roddy, I think I'd really like to see it on Roosh or uh, Mark Briscoe. Honestly, give raise their stock.
I wanted Dante Martin to win the other on the Dynamite, the New Year's Dynamite. I wanted Dante Martin to win because I was like, that's a fresh new face. It's a statement. Like, I'm not the biggest fan. He's not the best on the mic, but it's a wow. Orange Cassidy was just beaten by Dante Martin. It's something. But this is just kind of like, oh, Orange Cassidy is beating a lot of like real lower mid card guys for this belt, and it makes the belt look lower mid card. So
Yeah,
I I hope they do. Like, they gotta either give them better opponents or put it on someone else.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of other people could really benefit from having that belt. Shit,
Even
Will
Preston
Hobbs.
Vance. I didn't watch the match, but why not?
Yep,
Why
that would have been
not at
good.
this point?
I think that would have worked. Yeah. But yeah, that about does it for Battle of the Belts. You got any sizzling wrestling news?
Dolph Ziggler was that hard to kill. Nick
Yeah,
Nemeth. That
did
was
he sign?
I think he's doing that thing that most big start like Cody did the same thing where he's like, I'm gonna have a little bit of Ring of Honor time. I'm gonna go to New Japan.
Matt
I'm gonna go to
Cardona.
TNA. Yeah, Matt Cardona. They don't really have a set promotion for a few years. I also think Matt Cardona is going to go back to WWE someday. Maybe not this year, but someday. So that's why he's never really gotten too comfortable with the promotion. But I think Nick Nemeth will have a few cup of coffees, and eventually he'll probably go to AEW because that's where most of the money is. But there's nothing wrong with Nick Nemeth getting a little time in TNA and New Japan and all that because Nick Nemeth has never wrestled for another promotion. I don't think. I think he like started out in or WWE. He might have
Yeah,
started in OVW, but that was back then a WWE thing, so that doesn't count. So I think he's just trying to get some outside experience.
yeah, everyone out there, check out Chad's top 5 goofy wrestling gimmicks video. He talks about what were they called? Team Team something, the cheerleader
The,
squad.
oh come on it's like the Spirit Squad. They were the
Spirit
Spirit
Squad.
Squad.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah. Dolph
gosh,
was part of that. Uh, yeah, kind of a cool little history. It
it
kind
was
of reminded me.
wrestling's in sync. But yeah, definitely check out. Chad made a couple top fives that were pretty good. Didn't he
Yeah.
make a WTF moments as well?
Hmm.
My boy Cody Rhodes is on that. Of course, it's a
Yep.
good video.
He made it.
Mm-hmm. And then Dave's made some great top fives. He's made a top five best wrestlers to do it under the paint, right? To paint their faces.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And got one about the top 5 reasons AEW is the spiritual successor to WCW.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of good reasons why that's the case. But yeah, let us know out there what you think of our little Chad-free format. Hopefully you don't hate it. Let us know if we did okay without him. I'm not gonna lie, Chad is usually the technical guy, so I had to do some learning and figure out how to set this up. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it looks good and you are entertained. Uh,
Sports entertained because we're in the business of sports entertainment here. Hooah!
we are. Wow. Yeah, technically we're in the business, right?
We're in the
Technically.
biz. We get to say the insider terms now. Yes. You marks. Better hit that subscribe button, you marks. Says the biggest mark in the room.
But yeah. Um, yeah, don't forget to elbow drop that like button and power bomb that subscribe button. We really appreciate your support out there. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed our episode. Yeah, I don't think I have too much to cover. You got anything else, Chandler?
No, I mean WWE's kind of quiet. They're keeping everything close until Rumble, so I'm sure Rumble will happen. We'll get a few big reports, and it's gonna become hectic. But as of right now, it's quiet.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I'll
Well,
say this every single episode I can. Will Ospreay's coming to AEW soon, like soon, either end of this month or end of next month. So let's get ready for that.
yeah, we'll have a revolution match for sure. Cool. All right. Well, that just about does it. And again, thank you all for listening and watching. Don't forget to check us out on the audio realm. And yeah, thank you very much. And we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.